Good evening, Range of Beauties, and welcome to the Pink Politics Show. The Democrats' clever scheme to remove Trump from office without winning a presidential election, or Black American women voters' votes, collapsed when a Republican-controlled Senate voted to acquit him of impeachment charges last Wednesday. Impeachment was initiated by House Democrats on behalf of the Democratic Party's bosses for a number of reasons. CNN and MSNBC would never tell you this, but Trump's disruption of the Democratic agenda, which includes uncontrolled immigration and deliberately bad trade deals that favor Mexico and China, is one of the reasons that they wanted to depose him from office. Democrats want immigration because immigrants, whether legal or illegal, are for the most part reliable votes for them. These foreign nationals, who may or may not have American citizenship, help Democrats to win elections, which in turn gives Democrats the power to govern our country in ways that are devastating for us. Many of them don't feel comfortable with the United States being the most powerful nation in the world by far. This uneasy feeling about life in the United States has been with them since the disintegration of the Soviet Union in the winter of 1991. They think there could be bad consequences for them, their close friends in the mainstream news and entertainment media, and liberals alike. They're especially concerned about the possibility of a nationalist regime establishing a fascist government in the United States, which many of them seriously believe we have now. Therefore, they want to strengthen Mexico and China, but mainly China, by weakening the United States with trade deals that have key disadvantages. Many Democrats, like Hillary Clinton's estranged husband, Bill Clinton, believe that this strategy will help them create a balance of power on the global stage. You know, this may sound bizarre and far-fetched, but champagne corks would be popping in unison with cheers from a largely Democratic crowd of coastal liberals if China truly emerges as a peer competitor of the United States. But enough of the geopolitical talk. Let's get back to the home front. Democrats are worried that they don't have the right candidate to beat Trump. In other words, Black American women voters aren't enthusiastic about any of the immigrant first Democrats running for the 2020 Democratic nomination. And that's because none of the candidates have promised to deliver a reparations package and a Black agenda, which includes reducing legal immigration and ending illegal immigration. Now, the fact that Democrats aren't confident that Black American women voters will vote for their candidate in November is another reason why the Democratic House and Senate tried to depose the incumbent president. Schumer, Schiff, and Nadler, and all the rest who supported Trump's impeachment and conviction, thought that they could avenge their loss of the presidency and the 2016 election without presenting policies that will help Black American women and our communities. But they couldn't. The partisan impeachment hoax was a failure. Only one Senate Republican, failed presidential candidate Mitt Romney of Utah, who's a supporter of the endless wars in the Middle East, voted to convict Trump. So now the Democrats are in an awkward, complex, and hazardous situation. If they decide to promise and deliver on a reparations package and a Black agenda in an effort to win the presidency fair and square, then Black American women's community would be reinvigorated by reparations and the good policies. These actions would help thwart the soft genocide being committed by the Democratic Party against Black American women's community. A reparations package and a Black agenda would end their hopes of replacing our voting numbers with Hispanic immigrants and our ethnic appearance with Black immigrants. Pushing policies that are good for us would be against their own cunning and malicious plan to reduce us to invisibility and insignificance in our own country. But if Democrats continue to ignore Black American voters, they'll certainly lose the 2020 presidential election and the House and Senate elections. And as a result, the formerly strong Democratic Party will be teetering on the brink of collapse. So the question is, what will the Democrats do next? Well, it's more than likely that they'll not present policies that will help Black American women and our communities. The Democrats' contempt and disdain for us is stronger than their desire to see radical liberalism and the Democratic Party survive. But they know that the Democratic agenda cannot survive a second Trump term. Aiding and abetting illegal immigrants, brokering more deliberately bad trade deals with a major foreign power, nominating far-left activist judges to the Supreme Court, and a host of other key Democratic agenda items will fade away forever if they don't win back the presidency. Now, as the old saying goes, desperate people will always resort to desperate measures, which brings me to a few hypothetical responses to the question: what will the Democrats do next? Well, they might try to covertly reinstate the widely condemned Bill Clinton-era policy of strengthening China, or they might resort to even more extreme measures than that. One thing's for sure, though. The people who pushed the impeachment hoax haven't learned any lessons from 2016, and that's why they'll lose again in the 2020 elections later on this year. Thank you for joining us. I'm Taylor Washington, and this is Pink Politics, where Black womanhood and politics converge.